And what is light if not the truth revealed after darkness, and what is love if not the willingness to feel without expecting, to give without asking, to ache without complaint, and I think that's what I've done, given parts of myself to you without permission, pieces I didn't know could be offered silently, like glances across crowded rooms, like changing the route I walk just to catch a glimpse of you by coincidence that was never really coincidence, like laughing at jokes I didn't find funny just because you told them, or lingering in places you once stood because the air still remembers you. And I have become a collector of moments too small for memory and too vast to forget. You occupy space not in my life, but in the life I imagine, a parallel timeline where I am brave, where I say hello and you stay, where we become something not just felt by one, and I think of that world too often, because it's safer there, where the fear of rejection doesn't exist, where you look at me like I look at you, not through you, where the weight in my chest becomes wings instead of chains. But I always return to this one, the world where I hold everything in, where I guard my affection like it's fragile glass, because one wrong move and I lose the one thing I truly cherish, your unknowing presence, your closeness without burden, and maybe that's why I stay silent, because I'd rather have you near in ignorance than far in discomfort, I'd rather love you secretly than lose you completely. And still, some nights, when the sky is too quiet and my thoughts too loud, I wonder what it would take to tell you, not in grand confessions or romantic declarations, but in soft, simple truths like, you make the world gentler just by being in it, or, your laughter makes me believe in joy again, but the words always stop just before the edge of sound, trapped behind my teeth like butterflies afraid of the wind. Because I don't know if you'd catch them gently or crush them accidentally beneath your indifference, and that risk feels too big for someone who has already lost too many pieces of themselves in unanswered prayers, so I let the feeling grow in silence, let it bloom like a wildflower in the ruins, beautiful but hidden, a secret between me and the universe. And maybe that's okay, maybe some loves are meant to be seeds, not flowers, meant to stay buried rather than blossom, because not every heart gets a happy ending. Some just get the privilege of feeling deeply, even if it's unseen, unshared, unreciprocated, and I've come to find a strange kind of peace in that, in loving without needing, in admiring without reaching, in finding joy in your existence even if I'm not a part of your story. Because you make the ordinary extraordinary just by passing through it, and that's enough for me, or at least that's what I keep telling myself, even when I catch myself watching you when I shouldn't, even when your name slips into my mind at the oddest moments, like a ghost who refuses to be forgotten, even when the sound of your voice from across a room feels like sunlight on closed eyes, warm and distant and impossible to hold. I carry this feeling like a secret letter folded into the pocket of my soul, written in invisible ink, addressed to you but never mailed, and maybe one day, when the stars are braver than I am, when my courage outgrows my fear, I'll open that letter and let the words fall out. Let them speak for themselves, let them tell you how much beauty you've brought into a life you didn't even know you touched, but until then, I remain the silent witness to your light, the keeper of unsaid things, the author of a love story with no dialogue, only monologue and moonlight, and still, I wouldn't trade this quiet affection for indifference, because even if I never touch your hand, I have touched something sacred in this feeling, something rare in its purity, something honest in its longing, and that has to mean something. Even if it's not everything, and maybe you'll never know, and maybe I'll never say it, and maybe this poem will be the only place I am honest, but if you ever wonder, if you ever feel a strange warmth in the silence, if you ever sense that someone out there sees you as more than you know, then maybe, just maybe, you'll think of me, and maybe you'll understand, not fully, but enough to know that there was someone who loved you in secret, and loved you well. I watch you from the corners of rooms I don't belong in, heart ticking quietly like a bomb that never goes off, smile stitched to my lips like a secret I dare not whisper, your name echoing in the hollow of every pause, every silent moment where my eyes wander to find you and pretend it's coincidence, like rehearsed laughter when you speak just to feel near your orbit, while you remain blissfully unaware of the wars waged in my chest. Every glance a battlefield between courage and fear, where I long to reach out but settle for shadows, live in the warmth of moments you forget but I replay like prayer, tracing your outline in daydreams that leave bruises, pretending I'm not haunted by what-ifs and maybes, pretending my heart doesn't skip when you brush by or say my name like it means nothing. While to me it's the sound of galaxies colliding, the proof that even the smallest interactions can burn constellations into the soul, and I carry you quietly, carefully, like a song too fragile to be sung out loud, like a flame I protect in the hollows of my ribs, wishing, aching, hoping one day you might look my way and see not just someone nearby, but someone who's been loving you in silence longer than you'll ever know. And if love had a language only the unseen could speak, then I've been fluent in your absence, writing poetry and passing glances and breathing meaning into moments you forgot as soon as they happened, while I stored them like relics, like proof that you were once close enough to touch, though I never dared to reach, because even the thought of shattering this fragile illusion was louder than my longing, and I've lived in that quiet place, between wish and reality, where I rehearse conversations we'll never have, gift you compliments you'll never hear, and trace outlines of your smile in the fog of my daydreams like it's something I could hold, even just once, without breaking. But how do you tell someone they've become the gravity holding your world together when they don't even know they're orbiting your universe? How do you admit that every version of tomorrow begins with their name and ends with pretending you're fine, pretending you don't look for their reflection in every mirror, pretending the songs you skip don't sound too much like your feelings? And maybe that's what makes a secret crush the most painful kind of love, not the silence itself, but how loud it is inside you, how it echoes through your bones when they smile at someone else, how it teaches you to be full of feeling and empty of words, to ache beautifully and invisibly, to love like a ghost, present in every room, but never seen, never known, never held. And still, I stay, not because I'm weak but because some hearts are built to carry love that never asks for anything in return, because somewhere between your laughter and the way you tuck your hair behind your ear, I found something worth holding on to, even if it never becomes mine, even if I'm only ever a passing face in the blur of your days. And maybe that's the cruelest beauty of it all, that you have no idea the power you hold, how your presence rewrites my silence, how even a single glance can flood my chest with something too heavy to name, too tender to confess. And I wonder, have you ever looked at someone like that? Like the world paused for a moment just to let you feel the ache of what can't be, the sweetness of impossibility that somehow tastes more real than anything you've touched? Because that's how I see you, like a memory I never lived but somehow miss, like every version of happiness wears your face and I am just chasing echoes, gathering crumbs of closeness and calling it enough, though it never is, though it will never be, and still I lie to myself, say I'm content just being near, say your laughter isn't the favorite song I'll never own, say the way you look at others doesn't feel like winter blooming inside me, and I keep walking this line between love and silence, between want and restraint, hoping that maybe, someday, some sliver of fate might let you see what I've never dared say, that I've been loving you in the margins of every day, in the pauses of every breath, where your name lives like a wish too afraid to be spoken. And so I carry you still, like a soft refrain humming beneath my every thought, like the heartbeat I listen for in rooms you've already left, and I wonder if love can exist in a vacuum, if devotion can bloom without sunlight, because that's what you are, sunlight I'm not allowed to touch, a warmth I memorize from a distance, and every time I see you smile, it's both a miracle and a wound, because it means you're happy, and it means it's not with me, and I've learned how to swallow that truth. Like medicine, bitter but necessary, how to cheer for you in silence, how to pray for your joy while nursing my ache, and no one sees it, how my heart leaps when you walk in, how my voice trembles when you speak my name like it's just another word, like it doesn't set fire to the letters inside me, and I think maybe that's what makes it so unbearable, that I know every detail of you. The way your eyes search the sky when you're thinking, the way your hands move when you're excited, the way your laugh curves at the end, but you know so little of me, not really, not the part that burns for you in every quiet hour, and maybe I'm a fool for staying in this space between dreams and denial, but I can't seem to let go of the version of you that lives in my hopes, the version that turns to me, just once, and says they've always felt it too, that the silence between us was never really empty, just waiting, waiting for courage.